Be my guest.
Yeah, you can't really go... Okay, I was about to say, you can't really go for the cannon, which is a matchup that we have seen more into the Fiora. Can go AD cannon, which actually would work well with the team comp, but you do need to have that specifically in your arsenal. Instead, it's going to be the Jace. And now for DRX, we have a composition that is partially poke with the Heimerdinger, the Jace, and the Varus, which I assume will be Lethality Varus. And then some brawling on the side. And overall, I like the DRX draft, but I did so last game as well. And when it comes to the actual team fighting, the setup, I do think Bro, barring that Fiora, which they made work last game, still quite strong. I think Maokai just provides you so much power, which is why he's so high priority in both starting team fights with your ultimate, really not a way around that for anyone on the opposing team. And perhaps even more importantly, getting control of saplings, not allowing any flanks. So again, DRX have opted into a more aggressive early game comp. Hopefully this time they can play it out a little or a lot better. Preferably a lot if we want 3 games here.
This says Dindin Brion. I'm like, wrong team. Dindin is not on Brion. But good try. Of course, Dindin is just a Korean word, so you can just use that. It's fine. Asking for the Morgan Renekton, aka Monekton.
Nice.
Just very straightforward. Love it. So what do you think about this comp?
I don't love Jin Karma. I think the bot lane should be in some trouble, but Umti and Maokai for me actually makes up for a lot of the mistakes of this comp. I think that as a poke comp, hard engage is what you fear. That's what Maokai provides.
Could be. We'll have to wait and see, guys. Let's hop onto the rift for game number 2.
생성까지 30초 남았습니다.
Here we go. To me, Chronicler, to be honest, I'm not sure if Brion are going to be able to play out a comp like this. Generally, they love to go for team fighting action, and you can team fight with this, but team fighting Fiora has not been spectacular. And
yeah, it's...
Again, if the Akali gets behind, I'm very worried about Karis' impact on this game.
It's really more of a... Umti fires off an ultimate, so does Henna, and then Karis, Morgan, Umti, and Aphra dive in, with Henna supporting with either a Jhin ultimate or from a distance, which can work, but looking at the setup overall, I think that DRX should have prio in top side. I think that DRX won't have prio in mid necessarily, but they have a very strong 2v2 that, particularly with the PTA, I heavily put in favor of Croco and Fate. And we've talked extensively already in the past about the Heimer versus Karma matchup. I do think that the Heimerdinger should definitely be able to fight very aggressively for the early prio here. As we can see, that is going to be the name of the game yet again.
Curious to see how Barrel's going to play this one out. I think he's going to be a lot more comfortable on a Heimer pick. Obviously, Barrel, one of the first people to make this extremely popular, and the support role. And, you know, the Nami is very good with the Lucian, but as a support player, maybe Barrel just not quite suited to that style of play. So I think he'll enjoy his time a lot more on this pick.
It's a very optimistic interpretation, fellas. I appreciate it. As
I think game 1 was fine. Hey, duck down dashed in first.
Ooh, Umti.
Here's Umti.
Flashing over the wall, you'll love to see it.
Oh boy, he's even got Hex Flash as well. He's just gonna wait for this one. And just Hex Flash on top of this bottom lane.
No cleanse.
And it'll be up to Henna to land the Deadly Flourish.
Yeah, don't
eventually follow up on this one. As here we go, flashing on in his effort. They're just gonna W him down. They don't even wait for the Deadly Flourish. They're like, nope, we'll just make this incredibly straightforward. And that they do. And guess what? Henna has another kill, another first blood in game 2.
Okay, but this one is actually Umti's. This one is up to the tree, man. We gotta give him some credit.
Of course.
As, oh.
Yeah, I don't know about this trade, Morgan.
Well, yeah, Morgan is just trying to buy time because Umti, after that kill, went for a back. He's now on his way. Still, FYI doesn't win the level 3, so was maybe hoping for a cheeky steal, but you give up a blue buff. Who cares? Might get double scuttled. Still, doesn't really matter. Very favorable trade. Doctom already without summoners. Getting taken low. And overall, I do think that, or getting taken down rather, missing out on a lot of experience. And this puts even more pressure on Croco to actually get something done here in the early game.
Yeah, and it's a little bit of an issue. I like that he was looking for potential play on the top side, but especially because Morgan comes in and just spots him. He's like, oh, I just have to play this extremely passively. He could have potentially got dove, but Jace isn't best as that. His effort is... I don't know. I mean, I guess he was running up to maybe help the top side, maybe help Morgan a little bit, get some wards down, but
yeah, so
he just died.
Effort, I don't even know, walked into mid. They knew that Croco was at the very least going to be in the general vicinity, was of course spotted. Topside crab, you know, is going to be taken. And gets hit by Fate. I don't even know what to tell you. You used Flash as well, so there really isn't any way for you to get out. And these are the type of moments that I do think are very important.
No knockback from Rascal. Riposte comes in. Morgan really looking to extend that trade.
Yeah, let's look again in the replay. Maybe we can...
I don't know if I want to, Chronicler. Maybe we should just let that lie, you know? Just kind of, okay, that happened.
Okay, display was great, obviously. It's the Hex Flash as well. There's just no time. Effort does a good job as well. Flashing for the immediate setup, but really Umti that finds that play is Effort. Fires up a Mantra Q, and then just gets caught. Yeah, there really isn't more to it, unfortunately. Just a mistake from Effort. The early damage, as mentioned previously, of the Elise and the Silas is not fun and should be respected, especially if you don't have sums. Was not the case. And very necessary moment, because this does give Croco an extra opportunity to bully and try and further snowball this game.
Yeah, you know, Croco was on the top side for the beginning of this game, but now he can definitely, with the farming start he's had, just look to camp bottom side as well. He got in, stole the Raptors, now he's doing his own Raptors. He picked up a kill for himself, so he is going to be a menace in the jungle. He can essentially go wherever he wants, and I would like to see that in the bottom side, although I'm not sure if you can really go for dives on this composition, especially even with Varsheimer.
That is the one downside. I personally wouldn't mind to see Croco just play aggressively towards the dragon. Start stacking that objective early. One of the worst souls in the game already unavailable with the Camtech Dragon currently awaiting. Downside, of course, there is that his bot lane is behind. Not as bad as was the case last game at this point, because I think
so far.
Yeah, so well, not quite yet. Okay. Might get there regardless, but at least for now, 2 long swords down is unfortunate, but not insurmountable with the power that the Heimerdinger has. Just expecting Croco to make his way towards bot. Beryl gonna try and fight for some vision here. Should be able to do so with Elise in his back pocket.
And that's the thing, I mean, Croco just commands so much respect, especially because he has that early kill. He has the Sork boots already. So even Umti, he sees the Elise, he has to run. The bottom lane of Bro, they see the Elise, they have to back off. And at least Umti was able to clear that one ward, but I don't think he's going to be able to clear his own red buff.
No, Croco has Flash as well, so you really need to respect. Umti's still sitting on only Hex Flash.
He's got Effort in his back pocket.
I don't think you should contest this. I think just let him have the red buff.
Okay, the Cocoon is going to hit the Karma, though, as Umti really desperately wants this red buff. And he might just get it. It's going to be quick. It's going to be close, but Croco gets it in the end. As Chains of Corruption will sail wide. There's a trade in mid lane as well. Fate stealing that Akali ultimate.
Hey!
Here comes Morgan. He's got Ghost. Rascal might be forced to flash here. There it is. Can he get away, though? As a grand challenge. I'm going to slow him down a little bit, but Rascal will get away, but loses his flash.
And overall, I gotta say, Bro, kind of playing it fast and loose, which, you know what? I'm loving it. But in the end, DRX should be able, as they are, to get the better end of that trade, pick themselves up the dragon, and it's very important that Rascal doesn't fall into the exact same pitfall that his bot lane did previously, as, ooh, I think that blade went to 1. Nicely done there by DRX. Dogdom still able to pick up most of this, able to go and shove in the next wave as well, although doesn't look like he wants to, has no mana, so actually going to be a little tough. He should be sitting on a lot of gold here. And now, DRX should be in a great position to fight for an up-and-coming Herald with fresh backs coming in across the board.
Yeah, definitely should be. And this should be an objective that they should declare as theirs, right? You've got your teleport into mid from Fate. He's got a Catalyst. It's not a lot of damage, but you know, he's going to be tanky. He can be a nice frontline for Engage. And all of them are on the top side of the map, so they really are declaring that this objective is theirs.
Do note, Croco hasn't backed yet. So Croco is actually not as strong as he possibly could be, but Jhin isn't here. So this should be a free take for DRX. Jhin is going to move over now. Also want to highlight that if this was Zeri, she would just stay in and get plates, but Jin's turret pushing potential not going to feel nearly as great as nice steal from Fate.
Yeah, bro, just have to get this one up. I mean, even though the Zeri's not as good, I think just at least take the one free plate. So, I mean, DRX were always going to make a big play on that, and not only did they go for it, they brought all 5 members. So I think the second you see that as bro, you just got to say, okay, it's yours. Go ahead.
Yeah, they're
get that eventually.
Not even going to be able to get a plate off of it. So, bit of a unfortunate series of events there for Brian as the roaming Heimerdinger. Level 4 is Beryl. He's waiting and hoping that someone walks by.
Hey. Just upgraded his thingy as now Beryl is seen. There is a ward here. Thought he was safe because there was a control ward, but there was not. And so Beryl's dead. And now Croco's in a lot of trouble as look at Karis just running him down, has to flash repel. As that is not what you want to be doing right now if you are in DRX's position.
Yeah, this is giving me some serious spring 2022 DRX vibes, what we're seeing here. I remember these type of plays happening a lot. He was just...
There was a control ward in this brush right below him, so he's like, oh, I'm safe, they don't see me. And then he got Malcolm, so...
Yeah.
But should he have been there in the first place is the first question we gotta ask.
Probably not. No.
I was waiting for your answer.
Well, I didn't really want to answer it, but I felt like I had to as, yeah, I like this. Put our money in the Fate train. Going to try and accelerate the Silas a little bit. Do have the punish coming through. Remember, Rascal, no flash.
Yeah, he's in a lot of trouble. I mean, there's no way to get away from this one. He's just running the opposite way, just trying to clear minions. He knows he's pretty much gone. As the riposte comes in, and they will feed that kill over to Morgan, who has been handling this top lane very, very well. Keep in mind, he was the one who forced Rascal to use his flash early.
And as a result, they get some plates, but overall, I think DRX just not looking to a barrel. Still level 4. Soon, surely, will hit level 5.
Duckdom's level 8!
Yeah.
What happened?
Well, I mean, Barrel's been going on errands, okay? He can't
just
level
stand
up
in the
and
lane
go on
and
errands.
get some XP.
There you go.
Okay.
Just did it. Easy, Valdes. Man.
Just getting stressed out, like, come on.
Barrel has a long shopping list, okay? He needs to visit the entirety of the Rift. Look.
Watch this again. So he should not have done this, but he's like, okay, I cleared out the vision.
As it turns out, he did not, in fact, clear out the vision. And even if he did,
what was he going to do?
Well, in a 3v3, I think that the idea behind this play, it's not as bad as it looks, right? Because with Elise and Heimerdinger, you actually can just 100-0 someone. And if you can get another kill on Croco, or if you're able to get your Silas further ahead, that can be valuable. But, yeah, a bit comical. Because he just gets spotted and dies.
We got him, don't worry. And then he started making calls. So we cut the tape. But, yeah, it's kind of just Umpty, you know, Big Brother Umpty just saying, don't worry, guys, we got it. It's all good. And that's the kind of voice you need as a leader.
Do note, Hannah also going for Eclipse first. Usually we see the Jins go for a... Oh, man, this is looking really rough on the top half of the map. This was a counter pick, mind you.
Yes. Saving counter pick for top lane in hopes that Rascal would once again have a little bit of help and then get a big lead and turn it into something more here in game 2.
I do think the Jace scales very nicely, so you're not going to be too worried as, oh, we're running.
I'm not sure about this. At least Barrel's level 6. I will say that. He might just die before he gets to use it. There it is, the super turret, but he is going to go down. As they do just kind of get caught out. Not sure about that decision as the Shuriken is on the Duck Dom and Karis is just going to assassinate him. DRX kind of running around without heads is... Okay, that's going to be a big amount of damage as Rascal finally able to bring the team together with one big shot blast, and that will be a big turnaround as Bro overstay, and DRX will take the Drake.
Ah, says Barrel, it was all an elaborate bait. I don't know if the rest of his team agrees, but Bro definitely will, because them going in hard is all salvaged by Rascal, as initially looking like a very disjointed type of play from DRX, but crucially, more gold onto Silas. Rascal picks up an important kill, and they get the second Drake, so if you get the chop, it doesn't really matter how you do it, Veldas. You're nodding yes.
You know, a win's a win, as they say.
And just in general, right, the ultimate missing, Barrel does get his big turret off, which even with him dying, actually is able to get a decent amount of damage up before it gets shut down. And Doglam dies, you're like, okay, this is just a pure disaster. But
then
there is Rascal running from base, finds a big shock blast, and Fate crucially throughout all of that still very healthy. Same for Croco. And the DRX top half is saying no, not today, or at least not right now, Brion, as they pick up another Drake. And I do want to mind that the Infernal Rift means that those first 2 Drakes do win in power. If you can get an Infernal Soul with Lethality Varus and a Jace, you're going to be feeling great. Now, I felt similarly last time, and then we saw that it didn't happen at all. But I do think that in this position, DRX can feel a little bit better. McKill's first, now done for effort. So we'll be able to deny some Cocoon shenanigans. And again, we do see that the initial team fight for DRX is not great. And I don't think that problem is going to go away. So hopefully they can find some of these messy, more skirmishy type of longer fights.
I think that Fate can certainly, just with Silas in this current state and the way that Rod of Ages is, he can kind of just throw his body in and be a huge impact on some of these team fights. He's level 11 Silas with a Rod of Ages 2-0 and 2. So I'm kind of looking for him. I mean, he's so much more tanky than Umpty, who's supposed to be the frontliner here for the side of Brion. There's now Karis looking to join up from the mid side. A 5v5 here as the Nature's Grasp comes through. They're going to kill Barrel again, but this time DRX might have a pretty good team fight as Umpty is in there deep, and Karis gets in, takes the eye, but can he get out is the question. Has a nice amount of damage, but the chains will hit, and Fate picks up yet another kill.
Barrel got the double! Oh, Barrel's just bait. That is what we're learning here. From Brion, if you are actually in a 5v5 scenario and your initial engage doesn't get the job done, we do see that DRX is able to get a lot of damage down in a very short amount of time. And as you pointed out, Silas was already spiking, feeling very, very strong. Same for Rascal after that previous skirmish, was able to finish his Eclipse, as this time around, unironically, Barrel is bait, as we see the immediate counter ult from Fate actually really pivotal here. And then at this point already, right, like the health bars on Umpty are gone, and Effort and Hannah are getting completely zoned away by the duo of Rascal and Fate. And this is kind of what you were worried about earlier, and we're seeing it here, where even if Umpty starts a fight, like if Hannah and Effort are not able to actually, or Hannah in particular, to like hit 4 shots on people because Morgan and Karis can't do enough immediately, then you just get run down. And things looking dire here for Bro, but good for fans of 3-game series of League of Legends.
It's quite a few Bro fans that were actually asking for the Game 3. You know, they just want some more action. They just want more entertainment. They want the maximum value out of their Bro series, and they might just get it here. I feel like, you know, every single time I see the Sylas Akali matchup, it just feels like the Sylas gets a free lane and then he just does whatever he wants. And Fate was able to pick up 2 kills, which certainly did help him, but now he is incredibly strong. We'll see what Kars can do to match him, as Kars is just running straight at him.
Fate should know.
He should know.
Kars going in that aggressively. Does have vision as well, so with the ultimate, should be able to get out here without too much trouble. And that's going to be a big win, because while they are investing free people towards the top side of the map, 3 in are going to be the case here, and this inner also will lead to a possibility for DRX to set up some point for themselves. So overall, as a Fate? Fate?
He's going in there. He's got a teleport from the Jace. He's really trying to extend this fight. And because Kars and Effort were killing the turret, it was just empty. So a pretty good look, actually, from Fate.
Bit late on the recall here for Croco and Barrel. Also saw that Rascal uses teleport there. I think they might have expected Bro to play a little bit more aggressive towards Fate, but when the Sylas that is fed dives in like a madman into 3 people, you probably should vacate the area. So
they should know Bro better as well.
Yeah, Bro don't. Well, they did that better.
They do sometimes.
But generally, yes. They will see danger and be like, not today.
And they really want to shut down Fate here.
We might get him.
I think they will, actually. They're surrounding this brush. Kars, ooh, they say, no, he's a little bit too far away. And that is a free Infernal to DRX. Not sure about that one. DRX very happy about this. They're like, okay, well, Fate, by the way, still had Flash, so he was never in any danger.
Yeah, the call from Bro, I think there is that they can't fight the 5v5. They can't contest this Drake anyway. So you might as well try and get a shutdown onto the Sylas, accelerate your Akali, and make that side a little bit more playable. But unfortunately for them, Fate, more than ready, doesn't get caught off guard, is able to get out, and the Drake, as expected, still going over. And now the game state for Bro is very rough, because unlike the previous game, there is no Zeri, and obviously the Zeri was ahead, but it kind of did it felt like the kind of draw for even if the Zeri was behind, you could be fine. This game, not so much.
Yeah, and Bro can't just do Bro things and say, we're just going to play for the extreme late game. Maybe we can Elder Flip, and yes, maybe they can, and maybe they get really lucky, but like, this is going to be Infernal Soul at 25 minutes into the game, so even though Morgan's doing a really great job in the side lane, it's not quite like game number 1 with Rascal, where he could just, you know, kind of do whatever he wanted, and the Drakes weren't as much of an issue. Like, they still had to fight over them, but DRX was able to get one of the Hextech Drakes. Although it was trade for a Baron, but still, point still stands. DRX are going to have a very early Infernal that is going to put some pressure here on Bro to actually fight in this game.
As we do see the poke come through, counter poke rather. The upside for DRX is that, again, their siege is incredible, able to just sit here, help their opponents, but you are just ignoring the Fiora. Unfortunately, Fate now on his way over, should be dinging onto his 10 stacks of Rod of Ages soon as well, and as long as they don't give up the inner, it should be fine. As here's that combo.
Is this the zoning ultimate combo?
Yeah, ideally you'd get a little bit more out of it. In this case, I think you'll take it. I wonder if the Baron is going to at least be set up around. The vision control already pretty good. Don't think you want to actually try and go. As yeah, that's what you'd expect with the DRX combo at this point in time. Imagine once they get Infernal Soul. It gets worse.
It does. More lethality will be built up as well, and Effort will have not really that much of an increase in armor. We'll have to see what he looks to go for. And also in the side lane, because Fate is so strong, he can also just steal Grand Challenge and say, okay, come at me, Fiora. You know, it is a Fiora still, so eventually he might struggle. But I think at this current point in the game, Morgan can't just kind of dive headfirst into the Sylas.
Waiting for the grenade. Did not hit.
Yeah, Effort's level 8 himself, so they are going to lock this one up. Morgan doing a nice job of frontlining, but follow-up Nature's Grasp, just going to push them away.
They didn't even have Chase hit. Missing a really big damage source. Oh!
Ow.
Ow. Mean. Probably Nash as well, as Rocco does get spotted. And they don't have any certainty as to what is going on, but with everyone showing, should have a pretty reasonable idea that right now it's not getting done. Yeah, that's not great.
You gotta remember that he's bait, right? Like, Beryl has made that very obvious.
At this point, I don't even know if Beryl knows whether he's baiting or whether he's making a genuine play. But that's the beauty of Beryl.
Maybe both.
Maybe it's both.
We just can't understand the beauty of the play. It's just beyond our understanding, our comprehension.
I don't know if beauty is the right phrasing, but I'll allow it. As Umpty, they got him in here.
Yeah, he is very tanky, but not tanky enough, and he will be left to the Wolves, as now tons of damage onto Effort. He is free as well. DRX do set it up very nicely around the Baron. Now it definitely should be theirs. No objective for Bro to trade for either. DRX are kind of just sailing ahead in this game.
Would you say they're steamboating?
Yeah, I feel like after that fight, they're probably steamboating ahead. Power gliding, perhaps.
You love me some power gliding. As feels bad, someone has to walk in. Unfortunately for Umpty, they drew the Stroll and he has the bulkiest one, so tries to move forward, gets immediately murdered and doesn't really get to do a lot. And from this point onward, as mentioned, we should be seeing the immediate Inferno as, oh, look at that. Croco, my guy, going for Abyssal Mask. You love to see it.
You do.
Has been a while. Didn't even know the item still existed.
It's a thing.
Well, I did, obviously, otherwise I wouldn't. But
no, he's going for Out of Ages, obviously.
yeah.
Yeah. It's the only option.
The double mythic special.
Yeah.
For
He's going for the double mythic 35-minute illegal rod. Yeah. This is free Infernal Soul for DRX. Rion, unfortunately. Do you think Atlas is going to be happy or sad because Jin Karma got picked, so he's very angry?
I think neither. Yeah, I think.
But it kind of got crushed. I mean, as a team.
Yeah, I'm gonna say he's going to be just mad. Well,
mad.
Well, he won't be now because he's a contrarian. So we're saying he's gonna be mad. So he's probably gonna.
Yeah. Oh, little snipe action. Nice try there on the last one. And the fourth one will take down Beryl. But as we have seen in this game, that doesn't matter. Don't need your Heimerdinger. You still have 4 members. And you do have the Baron buff here.
TP flank. I don't
TP flank. Will it
work?
work? That's why I'm kind of holding my breath. But Fate is going to be left alone as he is a raid boss. Nobody can handle Fate right now. Look at how tanky he is. Like, even Morgan comes in, he immediately loses his entire health bar. And it's like, okay. And yeah, now Morgan's dead. This game is over. 26 minutes in, the Infernal Soul will come forward. I wish I could say I did not expect it, but we were a little bit suspicious about this draft, and DRX were able to pilot this to a victory, even though some of those early fights were a little bit shaky. As we will have this last fight, somebody has to go forward, but again, Infernal Soul is a big issue, as Fate is, he opens up, and then he closes up shop, and that's the end.
I was about to say they're really unleashing some pent-up frustrations here as a pretty decisive victory for DRX. The early game again looking rough. Getting the better hand of the DRX bot lane, which even in this game I'd say still was one of the weaker points, but the unit of Rascal, Fate, and Croco is looking better every single game, and that is something that I think many of us were expecting and hoping for looking into this DRX roster, and today is pretty much the first time that we've actually seen it happen, even remotely, which...
Yeah, I mean, they looked okay against Guangdong as well.
Yeah, but that's Guangdong. You know, we gotta...
And this is Bro, a much bigger and fiercer opponent. Yeah, I'm just going to come out and say it. When I asked you about the draft of Bro after it in game number 2, I thought it was a dumpster fire. I thought